Last time we talked about how to read your propane gauge. Your gauge is showing a percent full, not gallons or pounds or pressure. But have you ever noticed your gauge never says 100% full, even right after a delivery? I promise you're not getting shorted, it's all by design. In fact, many gauges don't even show 100% as an option. Let's take a look at how your propane gauge works and why 80% is the magic number. This little dial is the part you can see on top of your propane tank, usually under a cover. But this is what the entire mechanism looks like, with most of it living inside your tank. This piece is the float. It floats on top of the liquid inside your tank. As the level rises, the float moves and it changes the reading on the gauge through simple magnetism. It's actually really quite simple, and that's what makes it great. It doesn't rely on batteries or electrical components. It's built to last. Safety note, you should never remove any parts or bolts from your tank gauge. The propane in your tank is under pressure and the gauge is part of the sealed vessel. All right, now let's circle back to this 80% business. No matter what size or shape your propane tank is, all tanks are designed to be filled to 80%. The remaining 20% is vapor space and is extremely important. Propane expands and contracts as the temperature rises and falls. In fact, it expands about 1.5% for every 10 degrees Fahrenheit the temperature rises. By leaving vapor space, it greatly reduces the risk of overpressurizing your tank, which could cause problems. So, if the temperature is making big jumps where you are, you may notice your gauge going up, even if you didn't get a fill. Alternately, if you peek at your gauge on a cool morning, you might see a bigger drop than you'd expect. This is totally normal, it's just physics. Let's talk quickly about digital tank monitors. These plug directly into the gauge head and they read the same float movement the normal gauge does. So if the gauge reads 80%, the digital monitor also reads 80%. Then it sends that reading through cell networks to an app or online portal where it can be read digitally and in almost real time. Let's recap. Your propane gauge reads as a percent full. A tank at 80% is considered full because we have to leave room for expansion. Small day-to-day changes in your gauge reading comes from temperature changes, and they're normal. You should never tamper with gauge parts as they are part of the pressurized system. And digital tank monitors read the same thing your normal tank gauge reads. This is Bright Flame Creative, where propane's story comes to life.